Hey everyone, welcome to Brick Vault. My name's Jack. Today we're reviewing a LEGO Minecraft set for you. This is the Ocean Monument set, and thanks a lot to LEGO for sending this set down to us to review. This set is recommended for ages 8 and up. It is set number 21136, and it has 1,122 pieces. Included are 2 minifigs, Alex and Steve, and the mobs are an Elder Guardian, a regular Guardian, and a Squid. This set was live streamed. If you want to learn more about our live stream schedule, you can check the description below, and let's get right into the review. It was a very quick build considering the amount of parts that were used, and it was pretty enjoyable, just a lot of simple brick stacking. Now, I first want to talk about the general look of the Ocean Monument, and this is a set that has probably more sand green than any other LEGO set that I've seen. There's also plenty of dark forest green that's kind of thrown in there as well, which is a lot more of the darker color than what we got from maybe the actual monument from the game. But if they had made this thing entirely or nearly entirely out of sand green, it would have been a very sort of boring looking build. Generally, I like the shape of the monument. It kind of reminds me of like an older pyramid, and the general build style also reminds me a lot of the Minecraft jungle temple that we got earlier. Now, when it comes to the construction style, this does not follow the sort of modularity that we've been getting from a lot of Minecraft sets. This is a much more solid build when it comes to things that you can take off. There are a few pieces at the top, this little gate or bridge that kind of connects these two halves in the front, and once that's off, you can open up the two arms, and the whole monument kind of spreads out and you can see the inside. And by see the inside, I mean just, well, you're looking at it right now, there isn't that much that there is to discover once these arms have folded open. It does kind of look all right. You can open up the play area, and it certainly allows for better accessibility. There's some studs for either putting minifigs or certain extra pieces on the inside of the set if you want to transport it around, but it ultimately doesn't have much to do with the universe of the set or that much with the play functions. Now, getting into the main area, you can actually take the top off entirely, and this allows for sort of the ultimate accessibility. Now, the main thing in the inside here, the only part really that draws your eye is this box in the center that has these sort of lighter aqua blue tiles, and that is the ultimate payoff for the play function. If you activate this little trigger in the back, in one foul swoop, the container drops and the top pops open, where 8 different chunks that make up gold blocks are revealed. Now, there isn't a 2x2 pearl gold brick molded yet, so they decided to do the 3 2x2 plates stacked on top of each other with the jumper on the top. And in terms of finding any type of treasure within a LEGO Minecraft set, this is by far the largest bounty. The build for this opening function here is pretty satisfying. It's very easy to reset, and the trigger doesn't stick out in any weird obtuse way with a massive handle or a bright red button or something like that. Now, of course, you have to be able to get inside the Ocean Monument, which is often full of water. And when we're looking at the entire set sort of closed off once again, you can see that the entrance right here is indeed full of different water. And the actual way to get rid of that is by, of course, soaking it up with sponges. So the set comes with 3 different sponges. 2 of them show the sponges that are already full of water, and 1 that is dry. If you remove this little corner at the end of the arm right here, you can see that the monument is indeed full of water, and that's where you can actually place a sponge to soak some up. Now, this isn't really an action function, but it certainly is a play function where you can add a dry sponge, replace it with a wet one. Then when you move on over to this area where you have your furnace, that's where you can dry the sponges off and repeat until eventually, when you add this sponge piece at the top of the entrance here, it will move these 2 sections back and show that the water has been removed. That's a very simple function. You literally just put your piece down, your sponge down right on the top, and it swings the doors back, the doors that represent water. It's super simple. There's no springs or levers or things that shoot around, but instead a function that I think is mostly driven by your imagination. Now, on the other side of the monument, instead of a section that breaks away with water on the inside, there is just a posable little tower that's got an arm that sticks out. This is very similar to like something we got from the Ghostbusters Firehouse headquarters, where you can attach one of the Guardians. So speaking of which, let's get into the Guardians. This is the smaller one, actually called the Guardian, and it's got this print on the front that really does remind me of Plankton. The overall build is pretty simple. I think it looks very good, actually. The color combination works really well, and the overall shape of this weird sort of spiky pufferfish type thing looks pretty accurate. He fits onto this display stand on the side because he's got those studs sticking out with the jumper pieces. So when you move on to the Elder Guardian, this thing actually cannot be displayed onto the set, not in the same way at least. This build is a little bit more involved. There is a hidden spring-loaded shot. It sort of sticks out kind of far in the back, but it's mostly covered up by the tail. What I like about this is the spring-loaded shot really doesn't accidentally go off, and you can use the tail to act as the trigger. This little trans blue stud at the bottom of the tail bumps into the spring-loaded shot that acts as the trigger, and that works pretty well. I think I do like the color combination and the general build style of the Elder Guardian just a little bit more. These lavender 1x2 tiles are not common, and in general just look good contrasting against the nice blue. Those two guys are exclusive to the set, along with our little build for a squid. Definitely the best new print for this set. I really do like how the eyes kind of splay away from each other, and the build is extremely simple. I do want to point out that there is a very interesting piece that holds on the 4 different legs. It's got this Technic pin and these sort of parallel clip pieces, and that might be a new part, or maybe it's just kind of so old it's new because it hasn't been around for a while. Now I'm kind of going out of order. Usually I show off the minifigs first, but anyways, here's Steve and Alex, and nothing different about the minifigs themselves. They're the same minifigures we've been getting since the very first Minecraft sets. The only thing different is they all come with enchanted items. I've definitely seen the enchanted pickaxe before, but Alex comes with an entire enchanted suit of armor plus a sword, and this is going to be adding to our overall Minecraft minifigure collection and all of the crazy items that it includes. Now, I briefly showed off the little other section that has the furnace. This isn't really like a settlement or an encampment. There's no bed or door or anything to protect yourself, really. Just a single furnace, and there's 2 different builds for potions. I really do like the way these things were built up. They're actually minifigure heads. The blue one represents a water-breathing potion, and the red one is a heal potion. It's a clever little effect showing the upside-down round stud with that bar kind of sticking into the top of the head to show that there's a little bit of liquid not in the neck of the bottle. So simple, and it really does look good. Now let's take a step back. This is the entire set together, and I gotta say, this is a set that doesn't have a huge amount of play functions, and it also doesn't have a massive amount of modularity. This is a Minecraft set, so of course at the end of the instructions there are some inspiration builds. So of course the instructors have shown how you can change up the different types of ocean monument if you really want, but this isn't going to be a sort of classic version of a Minecraft set that's very modular, like the Lego Minecraft Fortress set, for example, where you can really take the whole thing apart. And depending on what you like from a Lego set, I know some people really like being able to take their whole Minecraft set apart and just change everything about it, and other people don't like it as much because it usually makes the foundation of that set very weak. This one, on the other hand, cannot be changed as much, but it is extremely strong, easy to put together, and easy to transport. And I think with the part to price ratio being just a tad high, the uniqueness of the parts is actually a pretty cool benefit. The mobs that we get are very unique. We haven't gotten any sea creatures before from the Minecraft universe, and they all work well. Their prints are good, and the builds that correspond to the bodies are proportional, and I really can't find anything wrong to say about them. All in all, I'd say this is a pretty decent interpretation for the Lego Minecraft universe to expand out towards the ocean. Alright, so that is it for this episode, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching. Remember, if you enjoy our content, you can always like or subscribe, and we'll see you next time at Brick Vault.